we just brought it back to the old Crystal Lake, and kids doing what kids do, and Jason doing what Jason does. You know?
Like we know, we met at the Huntsville Paracon. The guy that introduced us, he went to that LBL thing too. He follows us around all our things that we do. You played Voorhees in, Voorhees after the Beast. That's a short
Night After the Beast, Voorhees, Night of the Beast, and Slasherverse. I did another one up in Ohio.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I saw After the Beast was a short film.
It was kind of a continuation of Voorhees, mm-hmm. Night of the Beast. I think there were some things left unanswered that Jason Pitts, the director, wanted to answer for some people. And it was brought to us by a lady there in Arkansas, and she funded it. And we kind of answered some questions that was left unanswered for Voorhees, Night of the Beast. Yep. I
watched a little bit of that movie today. It was on YouTube.
Yep.
Had the Bigfoot hunters on there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
and for the longest time, I thought you played the Bigfoot. I'm like, no, he played Jason.
Yep. No, I played Jason. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So after that, I mean, you stated that you got actual on research adventures or campouts. And who'd you go on? Those somebody famous or one of the
No, we just did some overnights and stuff like that, looking for Bigfoot and stuff. I've been a Bigfoot enthusiast for years. Mm-hmm. Member of the BFRO and all that stuff. So.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. I did that before I was even in acting, really. My middle daughter, she absolutely and just loved Bigfoot, and we watched Bigfoot hunters and all that stuff on TV all the time, and we did as much as we could with the Bigfoot stuff. Yep.
I think that stuff. For some reason, I've been obsessed with Bigfoot, but not like obsessed like some people. Yeah. Like it's been like one of my favorite subjects since like '94.
Oh, sure.
And so I got to doing this podcast, and anytime anybody wanted to discuss it, I'd be like, yeah, we'll talk about it. It ended up being like half the subject matter.
Like, absolutely. There's so much to talk about, man.
Where do y'all stand on like the paranormal side of it? Like the apers versus woo-woo, they say.
I'm more... I don't know about the supernatural part of it. You know how they talk about Bigfoot coming from space and all that stuff. I don't know. I don't look at it like that. I think it's just like, I bet there's 60% of this world that hasn't even been discovered yet. So, and that's from oceans to the forest and everything else. There's things out there that they're still being discovered today. So who's to say that there's not a Bigfoot out there? Yeah, I know, people can skepticize, I guess, what you want to say about Bigfoot, because it's never been seen or never been captured or never been whatever. But, there's things still being discovered today that people never knew about. So I'm just one of those skeptics that say, until they show me proof that there's not one, I'm going to believe that there is one. So that's just the way I look at it.
What is the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence?
100%.
I like that one.
It's like going to a haunted house. You can go to a haunted house and be all macho and say, "Oh, this ain't real. It's not scary." Or you can go in there and go, "Oh my God!" That's the whole premise of a haunted house, is to be scared, to be for the jump scares and all that stuff. And when people go through it and they act like, "Oh, this is no big deal," well, they're just wasting their money. Just don't even spend your money to go through a haunted house if that's the way you're going to be.
Yeah.
We all know that they're not going to touch you and they're not going to hurt you, but at the same time, it's that feeling of what's around the next corner. What are you going to see? What's going to jump out at you and stuff like that. And the whole feeling of being scared is what it's all about. And that's what it's fun. That's the reason horror movies are so good. Mm-hmm. You don't know what's going to happen next.
It'd be like watching Star Wars and saying Wookiees aren't real the whole time.
100%.
Wookiees aren't real. Why am I watching this crap?
100% are
real. I toured a haunted house in my hometown, Scottsboro, Alabama. And it's an old abandoned warehouse, like 100 years old, and it was a haunted house, like a foo, scary, but it was also haunted.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
people died in industrial accidents, and I went in one room, and they said, now people in this room experience headaches and yada yada yada. I walk in, I got a headache splitting right there.
Mm.
It was insane.
Yeah, and people, and it's stuff that can't be explained, and I mean, you can say whatever you want to say about things, but it really depends on what you believe. Everybody has their own self beliefs and everything in everything. From political to religious to scary to whatever, and so it just really depends on how you go into something. If you go into it thinking, "Oh, this is not real, this is just fake," well, then you're just wasting your time doing whatever you're doing. That's the way I look at things. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I can't stand people that don't have a suspension of disbelief. That's half the reason I do most of the things I do. Like, I love going to movies still.
Well, sure.
I about killed myself during COVID going to movies. Yeah. It's like I miss them.
And the same people that say that about Bigfoot, they'll go watch a movie and buy into that movie. What the movie's not real either. I mean, come on. I mean, it's Hollywood. I mean, it's not real. But you buy into that, but you won't buy into Bigfoot. So I don't know. It's just I don't know. To one side or the other, who knows?
I've noticed doing a Bigfoot-ish show that like you can almost tell the people who say they don't believe or won't even entertain it or have fun with it.
Yeah.
Are like really not fun people a lot of the times. They also believe the news. It's like the same people there. I'm not saying a particular kind of news, but they also are very one-sided.
Sure, absolutely. So, oh well, that's the reason I like the horror films. I just I love them.
Been in a lot of them.
I've been in a lot of them. I've been in a lot of horror films.
Like, I was thinking about what to call this episode. I'm just going to call it horror actor, James Stokes.
Okay, well, I'll take that.
Yeah.
And people ask me all the time, is that you just like doing horror films? Well, I love doing horror films, to be honest with you, but my size sometimes get me roles in horror films because I can play different characters, or I can play something from a sheriff, I can play something from a demon, I can play something from Jason Voorhees. So it's just a matter of, I guess I fit the role for a horror film for the most part. So
yeah,
I love it. But I'm branching out. I don't want to be known just as a horror guy. I mean, I'm doing other things as well. I've got a period piece that I'm fixing to start working on that's already out on Facebook.
Really?
It's called Sharswood. Yes, it's going to be a period piece back in the 1800s about a plantation, Sharswood Plantation. It's a true story. It's based off a book. And I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm playing the plantation owner, Master Wellesley. And a matter of fact, I go Wednesday to Atlanta to do our first table read for the show. And it's a TV miniseries right now. And so I'm looking forward. I've got a reoccurring role in it. So that's it's going to be a real fun adventure doing that.
Were you affiliated with the show Midas Cove?
For a brief moment, I was. Okay. I was. There was a moment where they had talked to me about being in Midas Cove, and then nothing ever came of it, and that's okay. I mean, some things just don't work out sometimes, But yes, I know a lot of people that's on Midas Cove. I have not seen anything about it. I don't. Yeah, I haven't seen anything about it or anything, so I can't really speak on it. But there was a time that they had come to me, a couple of people, and asked me about Midas Cove, but it just didn't pan out, or for whatever reason, time wise or whatever, it just didn't work out.
Yeah. Reason I asked, I was looking at, I was messaging you today. I looked, I said, I saw one of the Midas Cove ladies. It was a mutual friend. I was like, well, I wonder. I said, I bet $100 right now that he was affiliated in some way with that show.
Yes, I talked to some people about it, but it just never did pan out for us, and that's okay. I mean, it's just some things you just can't do it all. I mean, I guess
it's not like something you can do on Tuesday and go to Atlanta on Monday,
right?
Back and forth.
Yeah. I guess you know I'm still working on Forest Through the Trees. That's another Jason Pitts film. The director from Voorhees, Night of the Beast. He's doing one called Forest Through the Trees. I'm working on it. I'm going back. Matter of fact, after I leave Atlanta, I'm going straight to Arkansas for 7 days to continue working on Forest Through the Trees. We are about, we just got one segment done of it. And now we're fixing to start our second segment, and we'll go back for a third segment in July. So I'm looking forward to that one being finished. That's going to be a very, very good film.
So Jason Pitts was the one that did the Voorhees movie.
He is, yes. Jason Pitts is the director and writer of Voorhees Night of the Beast. Right. He would be a great one to get on your show. Matter of fact,
when you said that, the name rang a bell. I think I may have broke ground on that prior and just forgot about it.
Yes, Jason Pitts. He's out of Arkansas. He's out of Alma, Arkansas, right around Fort Smith there. And he is an amazing writer, director. And but he's written one called Forest Through the Trees, and I'm one of the leads in it. And it's going to be an amazing film.
Is that the one with the little girl?
Well, there's the girl that's playing my daughter. And then, it's kind of an occult movie. So
yeah, had that appearance.
Yes,
I've had the guy that directed Blair Witch and Exists on.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
and they were amazing interviews.
Oh, I can imagine. Yes,
yeah,
cool.
Well, they were the same people, but that found footage,
Yes,
I love those kind of movies.
Yes,
some people hate them. Did you ever see Exist, by the way? I was going to ask you about that one.
Exist. I can't say that I have.
I recommend it. It's a Bigfoot movie, one of the better ones.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm going to write
they got Willow Creek and
yes, I have seen Willow Creek
and Lost Coast tapes. But on that note, I did ask him, and I'm glad I brought it up because I really forgot about this. I was going to bring up. I'm glad I'm just over here with my ADHD brain looking at the other monitor. But when it comes to the Patterson Gimlin footage, as far as costumes go from back in that time, what do you think?
I can't. To be honest with you, that's some of the most compelling footage that's ever been brought forth about Bigfoot. And I can't see back in, what is that, 71, 72?
67.
67, wow. So, okay, so I can't see in 67 them having a suit that would look that well. That was that, no. I think that's real footage. I 100% think that's real footage. That's the reason. There's a lot of footage out there of Bigfoot and of cryptoids and stuff like that has been found on the internet that is hard to explain by anyone. And so like I said, until they debunk it completely, I believe it 100%. That is some of the most compelling, because that footage was not done on a cell phone. That footage was done on a real.
That was
yes, 100%. That and if you watch the way it walks and the way it moves and stuff like that, I can't see back then in 67. I was really thinking it was like 70 or 71, something like that. But 67, that's. No, I believe that's real footage, 100%.
I was looking into buying one of those cameras, and I said, I wonder if there's a market for them, because all the little cell phones and digital, too much artifacts, not good for paranormal things,
right?
Or anything of that nature. Like, what if you just bought up like 20 of them, fixed them up, and sold them? I bet you could pay off your house. I bet some of these
100%.
Some of these little meta guys. I was discussing that. I was on a meeting, a camp out with some researchers down here near Georgia a couple weeks ago, and told them about that. Like, that's a really good idea.
I bet there's footage out there that hadn't been seen yet either.
I can tell you 100% that's the truth, because I've seen it.
Yeah.
If you go to these things, the people will show you things that they don't put out there because they'll get ridiculed if they do.
Sure, absolutely.
Which is sad, because
it is sad. It is sad because people, they're so quick to judge people just because it doesn't go with what they believe. And I'm not that way. I'm not that way at all. I think that if someone believes it in their heart, whether you believe it or not, that's not for you to say and not for you to judge.
I was kind of hoping that the alien thing from 2021, I thought it would be like open up society to let more stuff in, but it made more people come out of the woodwork, but it didn't make more people accepting.
Right.
Just like making a bigger net.
Well, that's the reason I love doing these movies that I do.
Mhm.
You know, the horror films, the paranormal, the occultist, just stuff like that. I love bringing the characters to life. That's what I love to do.
And the Pure Country sequel.
Yep.
That's old school. I remember
That's
when it came out.
That's old school. That's back in my country western dancing days there. Yeah.
Who was the main character in that one? It wasn't Dusty. It didn't have George
Oh
Strait
no,
come
no,
back.
no. Yeah, he wasn't even in that one.
No.
I couldn't tell you who the main character was.
I've seen part one 700 times.
Yeah. Yeah, not many people watched the second one.
I kept seeing it on like a DVD shelf.
Right.
Forever. I saw Cheech Marin was in that one.
Yep.
What is he doing in a
Exactly. You know, he did a lot of movies after the Cheech and Chong things that showed his true acting ability. Because I mean, he's really good. He was a really good actor.
He had to be to keep Tommy Chong in check half the time.
Oh my goodness!
I remember when they were grand marshals for the Watkins Glen race.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He was on Nash Bridges. That was a good one.
Nash Bridges. Yep.
I may have to go back and watch that one. Anyway, I'm going to get distracted. What's the most famous person you met doing all this?
Oh, good Lord! I've met all kinds of famous people.
Yeah.
Lord,
I bet you have.
Yeah, I mean, old school stuff too. You know, like from oh my goodness, like Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, getting to meet Lisa Wilcox and Kathy Podwell from Dallas. You know, me and her are really good friends. I love talking to Kathy. Danny Hassel, Mark Patton. You know, all from the Nightmare on Elm Street series. Getting to meet all the Jasons, Duquesne Hodder and C.J. Graham and Derek Mears and all those guys. I mean, I've been to several conventions with those guys, and they're absolutely phenomenal people. I mean, Kane Hodder, we talking about my movie compared to his movies, and he goes, James, you put your mask on just like I do. He said, you're a Jason as much as any of us.
It's the same.
Huh?
It's the same guy, very close.
Exactly. So that's what he told me. He said you put your mask on just like we do. He said you're just as much of a Jason as we are. So, getting to meet all these people and getting to spend time with them and learning from them. I mean, they've been in the business for a long time. And John Dugan, I mean, good gracious, he was a grandfather in all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. He's one of the greatest men. I love that man to death. He lives right here in Nashville, and
that's right.
Yeah, and a great guy. So yeah, getting to meet some of these people is just absolutely phenomenal. Some of the series that I've got up and coming, there's going to be some big names in those. Eric Roberts, I got to do 2 movies back to back with him. Phenomenal guy. Love working with him. He's just overall good, great actor and just great person to be around.
But wasn't Arlie Ermy in the Chainsaw Massacre movie too?
Who's that?
Arlie Ermy.
I think he was in the newer ones.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Because they played like the same guy because they look a lot alike, like John Dugan.
Right. Yeah. But John Dugan, he was the original grandfather in all the Texas Chainsaw.
I gave myself a Mandela effect unintentionally there.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. Is the Voorhees Night of the Beast, is that in the same universe as the other Friday the 13th?
Yeah, I would say it was. It's a combination of 7, 8, and 9, pretty much. If you look at my mask, the way it's made and all that stuff, and then we go back and we bring up Tommy Jarvis, we bring up Jason's mom, we bring up we bring up several different aspects of Jason, and then we pay homage to other horror films in there too, and stuff. If you watch the film, you'll catch little glimpses of different things and stuff that Jason likes throwing into his movies and stuff. So it's really cool. Yeah.
I watched about a half hour of it today, just while I was hanging out at the house. I did notice a couple little glimpses as well, like
Oh yeah,
some of the
yeah.
other things.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the scenes reminded me of the movie X, but probably just because it's a horror movie trope with the
Sure.
teenagers getting lost in the woods. I thought that
Yeah.
movie was
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
Well, we wanted to bring it back to the woods and to Crystal Lake and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
To bring it back and I think people really appreciated that. It's not we wasn't in New York, we wasn't out in the city or doing nothing crazy. We just brought it back to the old Crystal Lake and kids doing what kids do and Jason doing what Jason does. That's just what it is.
Was it like Voorhees Lost in New York, like the Muppets in Manhattan?
Right. I'll do a signing this week down in I think it's Columbia, Tennessee. Tomorrow night, actually, I'll be down there signing. It's for a benefit for a fire department that kind of got messed up in a tornado, but trying to raise some money for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll do anything for a fire department. That's what I did for a long time. So I try to help out as much as I can when I can.
There's been enough tornadoes around here to beat the man lately.
Good Lord, man. This weather's getting worse and worse. It's kind of crazy.
The season was calm from March and April, and then all of a sudden May is bad. That's never been the case.
It's been terrible. Yep.
Kind of hoping it's over. It's just going to be really like hot as it can be right now.
Right.
That's phase 2. Is it's going to be where we can't live and breathe anymore. I'm so freaking just ADHDing over this. I got like 3 subjects going at once. Usually I have one.
Yeah.
You got like the acting thing. Like I'm actually looking into like finding an agent for the show to get out on like different little other shows, like not like the Tonight Show, but shows like the Tonight Show. But so I was like, how do you get an agent? What do you do? I mean, I just hit like 1,000 subs, so I'm like, yeah, I'm famous now, so I better go. I better get out there and start rattling the doorknobs. But one thing I also want to ask is, you on Stranger Things, like uncredited? Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Which seasons? What season was that?
It was season 3. Yeah, it was season 3. Yep. And I played a paramedic. Yeah, during season 3. It was great. It was a great experience. Getting to be on a set that big, that early in my career. I think it helped me. It helped me to understand what it takes for a big production to get off the ground, and watching how everything took place and how the actors and how the behind the scenes and everything else was done. I mean, it was a real. I mean, you're talking from a few extras to a few hundred extras every day. And so that's in itself is the holding room was huge. I mean, you got hundreds of people, like Army guys and oh my God, military people. Just it was just a mall workers and everything, all but placed back in the 80s. It was an ordeal, and it was crazy to watch and how it worked, and getting to spend time with Millie Bobby Brown and the actors and stuff. I mean, literally, I was there. They took me to Millie Bobby Brown's dressing room. I mean, I was with her a lot of the time. Addressing. I was playing a paramedic, and they wanted a real paramedic. To know how to dress a wound or whatever. So they brought me in and they just told me the scenario and told me to fix her up. So that was awesome. And it was like, yeah, I get paid to do this. Yeah, this is great. This is awesome.
Was season 3 the max season?
That was the season where the finale in the mall, where the Demogorgon at the mall and all that stuff. Yeah. So
yeah, the second one was when it came through from Russia.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was part of that in season 3 too, but yeah, it was, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dang, did they already have the one where? Yeah, man, I am running together. They had the one where they went to Russia.
Yeah.
And Winona Ryder and Topper met back up.
Yes.
My God, that show has been all over the place. Oh, and it had Argyle. Past the left.
Yep.
That's right. It's okay. I've been playing that song left and right. I should remember.
It's an amazing show, man. It was an amazing show to be on, and and just to be around the actors and stuff. Like I said, it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. and it helped me out, a lot.
Now, that was like 2015. Did you start acting like 10 years ago?
I've been doing it now for 14 years.
14? So. Okay. So 15 years, or yeah. Okay. So about 2010. So you're fresh in the game. What'd you do before that? You said you were a paramedic.
Well, I was with the EMS. I was with the EMS for 16 years. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Retired and went to acting.
Pretty much.
There's worse things to do. Yeah, that's season 1 of Stranger Things, like one of the best like pieces of media on the planet.
Yeah.
They somehow embodied everything that happened in my childhood in movies in one thing and didn't mess it up with some kind of woke crap. It was just straight up 80s.
It's the whole thing, man. I love those TV shows that run like that, like Stranger Things, Vampire Diaries, the originals, all of that stuff is absolutely the writing is phenomenal. And being an actor now, you look at movies and you look at TV shows a lot different because you study the writing and listen to the how it's written and the way it's all brought together. And it's phenomenal.
I don't understand how anybody writes dialogue. That's good.
It's a gift. It's a gift. It really is. I'm getting ready to. I'm associated with something that's already out on Facebook. It's already out on IMDb, so I can say it. It's called Pagan, and we will be hopefully shooting that this October, and somewhere in Georgia. Can't say where, but that's going to be shot down there. And that is the writing for that is phenomenal. The two girls, Denise and Sarah, they are phenomenal writers. Just reading the scripts. I've gotten 1 through 5 so far, 1 through 5 episodes, and just reading those 5 episodes, it just keeps you wanting to come back for more. It's just like watching a TV show, like Stranger Things or anything else. You can't wait till the next episode comes on to see what's going to happen next. Well, that's the way Pagan is. It's like I read episode 1, which is the pilot, and it's like, good Lord, I can't wait to episode 2. Then episode 2 comes out, and it's like, and it literally ends, and it's like you're reading the script, and it's like, no, you can't end it like that. I want to know what happened. And then you got to wait till episode 3 comes out. And it's just like these girls are phenomenal writers. And it's just, I'm so glad that I'm associated with them and having them just to talk to and to get in their minds and stuff and just try to catch a glimpse of what they go through writing these episodes. It's phenomenal, man. And it's a gift. I mean, it literally is a gift that these ladies have that write this stuff, and it's phenomenal. But I'm associated with Pagan, and I think that's going to be a really good TV show.
Does it take place in Georgia or just getting shot in Georgia?
Going to be shot in Georgia. It's not going to take place. Yes,
2 different things nowadays.
Yes, yeah. You might shoot it in Louisiana, and you're talking about Minnesota. I don't know. You never know. I mean, so
what was the? It was like a John Anderson video. I'm messing it up, but it took place it was about the summertime, but it was in like the middle of the winter. They shot it, and everybody
ain't no telling.
They said it was like 20 degrees, and
dude, they do that with Hallmark movies all the time.
Yeah,
they take whole housing areas, a cul-de-sac, and they will talk to everybody that lives in that cul-de-sac and get their permission, but it'll be June, and they'll turn that whole cul-de-sac into looking like it was December the 15th and have snow on the ground and everything else and people out there in coats and burning up and everything else, but it looks like it's the wintertime. They do that in Hallmark movies all the time.
And they almost have to just to get them out by the movie.
Well,
time.
They do. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. They got to shoot them early enough to where they can get them out by December for Christmas. Yeah.
Now I want to look up what video that was that John Anderson did it.
You got me wondering now.
Yeah, I remember back in the day in CMT, they would do like music videos until the making of right after it. Things like that.
I love that.
I used to sit and watch CMT for hours.
Oh,
that
God.
And the Outdoor Channel.
Yep.
And TNN on Saturday mornings with the fishing show host. I went to Alabama to be a film student. I wanted to be a TV producer, a hunting show host.
Yeah.
And I ended up in IT just haphazardly because it kind of transferred, and I make plenty of money, but I'm stuck in IT, which is boring, and I want to do this.
Yeah.
This is like it pays the bills, but at what cost?
Right.
I even wrote a screenplay back then. That was fun.
Wow.
I want to. Oh, when you do the table reads, like with the screenplay and the script, do you ever get like the wrong? You know how when you read a book, you get the idea of the characters in your head. It's just like you're sitting there hallucinating. Do you ever get the wrong idea for what it's going to be and end up having to mentally readjust when you get on set?
No. By the time you get on set, you have talked to the director and you've had enough table reads that you know what the character is going to be like. But no, I've not had that happen to me yet. I've heard people talk about that though. They get one thing in their head about the character, and then when they go in front of the director or something, the director kind of turns the whole thing around and makes it something else. And that's okay. I mean, that's the thing about being an actor. That's what you got to do. Because, if your vision is not the same as the writers or the directors, well, you got to turn your vision into what their vision is, because that's their writing and that's their script. That's the whole point about being an actor to me, is to bring their vision to life. And as long as I can do that, then I feel like that I'm doing my job as an actor. So yeah, but the script that I've gotten so far on Sharswood, this 1800s period piece, which I've played
As is tradition on this podcast, the guests had technical issues and had to reconnect, so just want to let everyone know why there was such an abrupt pause in the conversation. Let's get back to the show.
My phone died. Yep. I didn't even realize it was that low. I had no idea. But anyway, what was I talking about? I don't know.
You said you were adjusting your mind to playing a plantation owner in Sharswood.
Oh, yes. I had played a plantation owner. Matter of fact, I played, once I played. It was back at early. It was my first feature, actually. My first feature I'd ever done with a guy named Danny Ramsey. And we did a show where I played a plantation owner. I was a pretty bad guy, but nothing like what Sharswood's going to be. Sharswood's, I'm a really nasty plantation owner that just don't care about his slaves or his family or anything. So it's going to bring out something in me that probably a lot of people haven't seen before. Kind of like the movie Forest to the Trees right now. It is a horror film, but at the same time, I'm playing a dad that is very dead set on getting his daughter back. And so you'll have to watch, I don't want to say too much about it, but it's a very heart-wrenching story, I think, for a family. So,
are any of these coming like directly to Netflix or anything? Like,
Tubi?
A lot of stuff's on Tubi.
Forest to the Trees, actually, Jason is in talks with some people going a couple of different directions. I do know that it will definitely be streaming, if not better than that. So right now I can't say a whole lot about it, even though I am a producer on it. I don't know the whole situation. I know Jason has talked to some investors and has talked to some people. I just don't know what about yet, so I can't really say. But I do. Oh yeah, I mean, this movie will definitely be seen by a lot of people. It's not going to just be streaming on YouTube. No, that will not happen.
Yeah, it's almost big time nowadays to get on YouTube if it's good enough. Honestly,
absolutely.
Have like 10 million views.
And you know what? People can downplay that all they want to about being on YouTube, but I tell you right now, YouTube is probably the most watched streaming service out there.
Oh,
so
hands down.
So they can say what they want to, but there's a lot of movies being seen and a lot of people being found through YouTube and through the movies that are coming out on YouTube. So
yeah, that's like one of my goals when I get this media thing going, is to have like a YouTube arm where I write short films, like 10-minute funny ones. Saturday Night Live sketch. I love writing stuff like that. Like this one guy I wrote, his name is Rooster Rockgut, and he thinks it's the apocalypse, but it's not. And he thinks everybody's a zombie, and he's like hiding from them and eating cats.
Oh my god,
it's stupid. Like
it turns out
his cousin took a Polaroid and snapped a picture of him. while he was asleep, and he thought it was the bombs going off, and he just ran and bugged out.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's dumb. I wrote it back, when I was working at in a big call center, being a bridge operator, and I even made like a bandolier for. It had a Mountain Dew can. It had a Spam can, a Mountain Dew can, and a Spam can, and I was making a costume for this thing. I never did finish it. It's like the perfect apocalypse. But when I did the show, I was gonna have beer and Spam across his chest.
Oh my God.
It was gonna be his thing.
Spam. Wow.
Yeah, Spam's where it's at. I had this whole thing about he was like just all his Spam and stuff. I was gonna have to buy all the Spam too, which is gonna be a problem. just have it on the set. But yeah, when you're talking about doing the horror films, like with your being a dad of the person, it's got to be psychological for you because you got to get in character and care about this person. In a not real, but it is real.
But it is real. You got to make it real,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the whole point about being an actor. Is the character that you're playing? It has to come off as real, or it's not going to play well on screen. And so it's that's the whole fun. At least that's what it is to me. It's making something that's not real, and I love doing that. That's what it's all about.
It takes a special soul to do it because one example I can say of this is I don't know if you watch The Walking Dead.
Oh, love it. Yes.
You remember when the governor, spoiler alert, everybody, it happened 10 years ago.
Oh, if they haven't seen it by now, it's okay.
The governor cut off Herschel's head outside the prison, season 2, I think. Could be season 3. Season 2 is the prison. No, season 2 is the farm, season 3 is the prison.
Yeah.
Anyway. And they show outtakes, and I can't think of their name. I think his name's Scott. But he's talking to the governor guy, and he's laughing. He's sitting there on the ground next to him and showing. I'm like, how do you... Like, in my mind, it's like he's about to cut his head off, and he's like, hey, how are you? You know how he talks.
Yeah.
And the governor's like, oh, I don't know. Because he's British. For some reason, everyone on Walking Dead's British. It makes sense if you do it for a living. It's like being like in customer service, and you make fun of the customers when they walk away. I mean, and everybody, you think they're professional, but they're back there, like the people in the kitchen are doing drugs at Chili's.
God, that was a heart-wrenching. That's kind of like when Glenn got killed.
I got the whole comic book set back here. I knew it was coming.
Oh,
heart-wrenching. Did you read the comics at all?
I did. I read some of the comics. Yes.
So
because Lori was supposed to be not Lori, the blonde. Andrea was actually supposed to be with Rick in the she was in the comics with him, and Rick actually lost his hand in the comics. So yeah,
you could go through, and if you read the comics, you could almost predict what was going to happen that season.
Oh yeah,
not to who,
right?
And
they always turned it around.
And whenever it got past Abraham's time to get shot in the head, I'm like, it's garbage time for him. When it got when someone got into garbage time, as I call it, after their death in the comics is what I call the garbage time for them.
Yeah,
I knew I was like, this is going to be wild how they die. it's gonna be fucked up. And sure enough, the lesbian girl from the Alexandria got Abraham's death.
Oh yeah, that's exactly right.
And then so Abraham went and got killed by Negan, and I was like, "What the?"
Yep.
When that happened, I was like, "That's Abraham's death." But Glenn got Glenn's death, verbatim.
Yeah, Glenn did.
But they also got Abraham, and then how did they get Negan in the comics? It doesn't matter. They didn't have guns at first, and they did.
Yeah.
Yada yada yada. They captured him, and they did a really good job with the Alpha head.
Oh,
at the end of the book 26 or 27, and Rick's gonna love this.
Yeah, Walking Dead was an amazing show, and they're still running it today. I mean, they're still doing spinoffs.
Is Carol the longest living dead comic character? She's got to be.
Got to be now.
She's from the Atlanta Five, and she's still alive. They're all dead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She went insane in the book.
Oh God.
Yeah. She just let them all. She did this. Oh, not my selfie stick. She not let them all eat her like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was obsessed with that show. Now I'm just kind of mad at it how the way it went.
Yeah.
It was so good. And another one disappoints you is Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. I didn't watch all of that. I started watching it, and it was too much.
I really liked it, but then in season 8 they just didn't wrap anything up.
Yeah,
that's what kind of throws you for a loop because you invest all this time in these shows, and then you come back and they don't finish.
100%.
Like well, where like you got this murder board of strings going toward this stuff, and none of it pans out.
Well, there's some good TV shows coming on now on CBS and stuff like that, though, that are really good. Tracker is one of the best ones I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it's just a really good show.
Hey,
I just don't have time to watch. I just don't have time to watch a whole lot of series. I just working and traveling and doing all that stuff. It's just I don't have a lot of time to sit down and watch TV.
How often do you travel to work? I mean, I know you work your job that you're at today, but how often do you travel for the acting?
A lot. I mean, here I'm fixed. Like I said, I leave Wednesday to go to Atlanta. I leave right after that. I'm headed straight to Arkansas for 7 days. And then I come back here, and then I've got my conventions. That takes me to most places. I just got back from Philadelphia not too long ago at a convention up there, MediaCon, and I've got Dragon Con to do in Atlanta.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'll
be a scarab in Lexington.
The one in the Rams Stadium in St. Louis.
I haven't done that one yet. I don't know.
It's called like Halloween Trans World Halloween Trans.
Oh, Trans World. Yes. No, I don't know. My management team and stuff. They've been working on some different cons and stuff for me. I don't know what all that they got. I just know the big ones that I've got this year coming up is Scarefest and Dragon Con. So. Mm-hmm.
Pays the bills.
It does. Oh my God, the conventions are amazing. The fans are just great. You know, meeting the kids and meeting the fans of Jason Voorhees. It's just great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And people know who I am. I mean, people come up and they've seen my movie and they know exactly who I am. They've watched other stuff that I've done. I mean, they can come up and they tell me, "Man, you was in this and you was in this and you did this, and I love watching you in this." And that's great. That's a great feeling. You know, when people can come up to you and know what you've done and know who you are.
Like it's basically the same level of following as Star Wars and Harry Potter.
Sure.
When it comes to that. So people that like even like you weren't in like the big three, obviously, like the top first, you know, the ones with
yeah,
the ones that people immortalize, but like at the same time, you're still Jason Voorhees. And so anybody wanting to complete their wall has to have you on there.
That's exactly right. And that's what they do too. They come up and they bring stuff that's been signed by Kane Hodder and CJ Graham, Derek Mears and all that. And they want my signature on there just like that. And that makes me feel good to put my name on a wall with those guys already up there. That makes me feel really good that they want my name up there with that.
That's canon. Being canon is like low key a goal of mine. I don't know why. And I don't know what, but like, you know, have you ever seen the big fat guy that he's a real person, but he dresses like Peter Griffin? And he does Peter Griffin impressions, and he ended up in front of there was a panel at Comic-Con, and they ended up dragging him up front to entertain the crowd because some of the people were late, and he was just a fan at Comic-Con. But he did such a good Peter Griffin, they ended up like conscripting his ass.
Wow.
And then Peter Griffin mentioned him on the show, and he's like, "Well, I'm canon now. Just being a fat guy in a white shirt can go."
That's
all of a sudden he's Family Guy canon. And then you got the Star Wars holiday special from 1978 or whenever, and George Lucas refused to acknowledge it as even existing because if he did, he'd have to admit it was canon.
Have you been to Dragon Con?
No.
Oh man, you need to go to Dragon Con.
The one in Atlanta?
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about it. The only cons I've been to like 4 cons, and they've only been here in Huntsville. where I'm at because they have them at the VBC, but never Dragon Con.
Dude, Dragon Con is probably 180,000 plus people, all in 5 hotels over 4 days, and it is amazing. And it is, oh my God, Celebrity Row is like not just 50 or 60 celebrities. You're talking hundreds of celebrities that's going to be out there, and it's just great.
So when is it this year?
It's always September 1st. It's over Labor Day weekend. Always over Labor Day weekend.
Might be doable.
Yep.
Next weekend I got the Chattanooga Squatch Out.
Oh, cool.
Which it's funny because I've been hanging out with a lot of researchers lately, and half the speakers I know and camped next to 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and that'd be kind of fun to go to, something like that, knowing that I've got a movie out there with Sasquatch in it, and being able to talk about it and stuff. That would be kind of fun. If you ever get there, tell them about me and see if they'd ever want me there. That would be kind of cool.
You mean the Squatch Out folks?
Yeah.
I'm sure they would.
That would be great. I mean, got a movie with Sasquatch in it. I fight Bigfoot. Come on now.
Yeah. Which is incredible because he can shapeshift and do things. You go over here and he's visible for some reason. You don't know. It'll make you forget stuff. We were sitting out there the other night and, at a hotbed, I guess I would say, because it's secret. But people see shadow figures out here all the time, and damn if I did not see one. And I'm saying it was me, my eyes adjusting to the dark. But a blob moved through the trees, and I was like, I had to be my eyes adjusting. Hey man, just embrace the woo out here, man. And these are like serious people. I'm like, okay. And I'm ready to embrace the woo. I mean, it's my favorite thing, but the fact when it starts happening to you, that's when it's weird.
That's exactly right.
Like your electronics quit working and you're just sitting there like, no, man.
It's a fun time.
It is. And I'll tell you this funny story and we'll wrap it up. But the first time I was on one of those outings, I had a toboggan on my head. I got my whiskers here. And as I was breathing, it was rubbing against the side of my head. I didn't know that's what I woke up at like 3 a.m. I heard at the pace of my breathing. So it was just kind of rhythmic. And I'm telling myself, if I'm going to have an experience, they don't kill you. There's no records of them killing you. I'm just going to experience it. I'm going to have it, and I want to be famous for it. I'm not famous, but like it's going to be mine. This is a gift. And I'm like, and I guess I got more excited about it. It got faster, and so my breathing got faster. So, and then the guy in the tent next to me went, and I was like, oh. And then I moved my head and I heard, I said, oh, it's just me. Well, I was tripping balls for about 3 minutes.
That's awesome.
Now I know how I behave.
Yeah.
I have a biologist co-host sometimes, and me and him talk about how to prepare oneself if you think you're about to have a paranormal experience. So just breathe and let it happen. It usually won't hurt you. You can't get away anyway if they want you to see them.
That's exactly right. You can't get away anyway.
I don't know. One of the guys that does the paranormal podcast up your way, he's in near Gallatin or Red Bowling Springs, Tennessee. He just bought a haunted house in Hopkinsville.
In Hopkinsville?
Yeah, it was called the JB House.
Oh, I know exactly where that's at. I'm from Hoptown.
Yeah, I was going to say we talked about it earlier. What was that called? But I'm going to go up there and do I just bought a new HD camcorder to shoot a mini documentary. I'm going to shoot a mini documentary. And he bought, what was it called? You probably heard of the house. It's called the Night House, Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Yeah. I'll share the screen.
Okay.
And then I'll let you get to eating because you've been working and you're hungry. I've eaten all afternoon. I should probably eat again. Getting famished.
Yeah.
You see it? Yeah, he bought that one.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And he's fixing it up. And I got all kinds of Hopkinsville stuff. People send me things from there with the goblins on it.
Oh yeah, the little green men of Kelly. You ever heard that?
Yeah, the Hopkinsville Goblins and
Hopkinsville Goblins, Little Green Men of Kelly. Yeah.
It's eat up there. That LBL area is just
sure is
almost electric. People see orbs. Not me, because I don't see any. I don't ever have experiences.
I was out in Vegas. I was out in Vegas shooting a movie called The Macabre, and we saw some orbs after we'd taken some pictures. Matter of fact, I've got the pictures somewhere, but I mean, there's definitely something there. We was out at the Pioneer House, the Pioneer Saloon, and it's very haunted. I mean, very haunted, and that's what I was filming. I mean, that's a actual a very legendary place to film, and I got the privilege to film out there, and that was an amazing experience.
I think I have seen ghost shows from that place.
Oh yeah, the Pioneer Saloon. Yeah, I mean Humphrey Bogart. I mean he's filmed out there. I mean there's still bullet holes in the wall where they shot people and stuff. I mean it's amazing. Yeah, it's definitely haunted.
Did you go to the Zach Bagans Museum?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I want to go out there and see that. I'm afraid if I got out there, I'd have to go to the black mailbox at Area 51. It would just be a whole thing.
Area 51, yeah.
I have to go check it out. I just found a picture of Zach Bagan out there. All right, I'm getting too deep down the rabbit hole. Do you have anything you want to promote? Websites or anything?
Just if anybody wants to find me, I'm on Instagram at stokes.james1414, or I'm on IMDb under James Stokes, Facebook James Stokes. So yeah, you can find me pretty much on any of the accounts out there, major accounts. But yeah, look me up and look at some of my movies that I've done. I've got some upcoming things on IMDb right now that you can check out and see. There's my card. Yep, and that's all my stuff. But please, anybody, reach out to me and stuff. I'm especially Bigfoot hunters and stuff like that. Golly, I'd love to be on a show or something like that with Bigfoot hunters or something like that, just to promote it. I mean, because I'm a believer and 100%, and I'd love to do stuff like that.
And you're up that part of the country. I know of places I can. If one happens to originate close to you, I can holler at you.
Absolutely, please do. Yep.
They do a lot of the meet and greets up there at the LBL, and I know that's on your beaten path. So I'll have to.
That's
keep
not
you in touch
too far from me at all. Yep.
Nope. And yeah, I mean the last one you'd have been really enjoyed. I wish we'd have had this conversation beforehand because you would have fit right in. It was a crowd.
Yeah.
And one guy flew an experimental airplane in, so that was the whole thing.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. And it sounded just nobody could talk for like an hour because of this airplane. But that's another story. Well, all right, man. Thank you for coming on, and glad we finally got to connect. It was
absolutely
great.
I appreciate it, man.
Been looking forward to it since Christmas.
Anytime, man. Just holler at me if you ever need me back on. But keep me in mind for any of the Bigfoot stuff, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, and one funny anecdote. The building where they had that Paracon in, where we met at in Huntsville.
Yeah,
that was where they gave out all the COVID shots.
Oh, really?
Back in the day. And so when they said, I was like, they're going to have a convention in that place. I was like, I just had like trauma from it. I didn't realize. I didn't know it was that big. I went in there and I was freaking out. I was like,
it was big.
They opened up another area apparently. I work about as a crow flies like a mile from there, so if I had to get too close to work on a weekend, I better enjoy myself.
I understand.
All right, man. Have a good one. Let me play my theme music, and we can get out of here. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for watching.
See you, man.
I never didn't believe in Bigfoot. I never believed in it. I didn't believe in it. I never gave it any thought.
They kept wood knocking back and forth to each other, and it was in a pattern.
Barn owls don't typically throw rocks.
I come across these tracks.
Sasquatch is still not on my mind.
Bye.